Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hi. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hello. Feel free to say hello in the chat. We welcome any and all hellos and messages of support in the chat. Hi. Okay, so we're going to get started. We're going to jump in. So I'm so glad you all could join us tonight. My name is Megan McNamara, and I'm the Executive Director and co-founder of the Octavia Project. And it is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 7th annual Octavia Project Summer Showcase. Woo! It's wonderful to see so many familiar names and faces in the audience. I see friends and family and supporters, former teachers, former participants. Thank you all again for joining us tonight. So we are here tonight to celebrate the work of our amazing participants. This year, 22 young people, ages 14 to 18, came together with teachers, teaching artists, and experts from various fields to explore new worlds and build new skills together in our 2021 Virtual Summer Institute. Tonight, you'll hear more about our Summer Institute and see works from several of our participants. But before we get to that, we want to share a bit more about what we were up to this summer. So in addition to running our Virtual Summer Institute, which ran for the 7th year this summer, we also ran an Octavia Project summer camp. Our summer camp was for girls, trans, and non-binary youth ages 10 to 13, so middle school age students. And we met in person at the Urban Assembly Institute in downtown Brooklyn. We met daily for the month of July. As you can imagine, this was not the easiest year to debut a new program, but we felt that it was more important than ever this year to give students, and especially younger students, the chance to come together, to connect, to heal, to laugh, to dream, to create, to have fun together. And another exciting part of the summer camp is that we hired 2 Octavia Project alumni, Cheyenne Hepburn and Alea Saunders, who are both in college now, college students. We hired them to come back and teach the summer camp with us. So to tell you a little bit more about what our summer camp was like, I am going to introduce our summer camp lead teacher, Arushi Agni.
Hi, how's everyone doing? It's so awesome to see everybody in this beautiful virtual imaginary room we have going. And thanks, Megan. I'm really excited to tell you all about the last month that we spent together with our campers. Similar to the Summer Institute for the high school students, the OP Summer Camp blended learning in science, tech, art, and writing. And we came together and put on daily workshops that combined imagination with critical thinking and hands-on skill building. And I think Megan has a slideshow of really cute pictures from this summer. So I'll pause for that to come onto the screen. Oh, that's Cheyenne. Okay. This summer we learned about biomimicry, wrote collaborative poems, produced our own songs, studied architecture, built 3D models, created emergent maps, learned about urban planning, wrote our own city charters, crafted branching narratives, drew word portraits. Oh, amazing. Delved into the world of carnivorous plants, learned how to code, and then wrote and programmed our own online adventure games. We also took field trips to various parks around Brooklyn and played lots of fun games. Yeah, we really did a lot. We really challenged ourselves and grew a lot. We also learned from a lot of amazing guest teachers, women professionals from the fields of art, writing, and urban planning, and more. And throughout it all, our middle school age campers explored new ideas and topics, and they tried so many different things that were hard and fun, and they made art and they wrote amazing poems, and they made lasting friendships. I really feel like connection is a huge part of what we do at the OP, and I was so excited to see what blossomed between us in this 1 month, crazy month. It felt like every day we would have like these really amazing conversations about life. We all opened up about our thoughts about existence and politics and art. And I think in a really difficult time in the world, we were able to foster a really beautiful community that was built on trust and support and shared joy. So thank you for listening. And I also wanted to say that Cheyenne and Alea, who are two Octavia Project alums who did the Institute, played a huge role in creating the space. They taught workshops alongside me and mentored participants and kind of stepped in, and they've done a lot of the same stuff. So they were able to really model for our students like what it's like to be, you know, they kind of are a little bit closer to what it's like to be in the program. So it was really, really meaningful having taught Cheyenne and Megan having taught Alea to be able to also see them step into the teaching role. And I could literally go on forever, but I shan't. So I'm going to hand it back to Megan. I'm super excited to see everyone's work today.
Thank you so much, Arushi. Thank you for sharing all of those details from our summer camp. It was, like Arushi said, it was a really amazing experience to get to pilot that program, and we're looking forward to running our summer camp for years to come. So thank you again, Arushi, and also thank you for all of your hard work making this year's summer camp such an incredible experience for all of our campers. Okay, so before we jump into tonight's main event, I'd like to take a moment to thank our wonderful Institute lead teachers, who you will hear from more later this evening, Natina and Maria Monica, and of course, our phenomenal program manager, Bria, who you will hear from in just a minute. But thanks to all the love and care you put into making this summer's Institute truly one of a kind. So with that, I would like to hand things off to our program manager, Bria Struthers.
Awesome. Thank you, Megan. As Megan said, my name is Bria Struthers. I use the pronouns she and they, and I am the program manager for the Octavia Project Summer Institute program. And if you could do me a favor, Megan, and showcase the Who Are We slide. Just to show some examples of some wonderful work that has come out of this summer. So the Octavia Project uses speculative fiction as a lens through which to envision new futures and greater possibilities for our world. Our programming blends creative writing, art, science, and technology to increase confidence and build skills in a myriad of subjects while fostering leadership and community. Our inspiration and namesake is, of course, the legendary and prophetic Octavia E. Butler, who broke barriers in writing and science fiction to become an award-winning and internationally recognized author. Our Free Summer Institute brings together young women, trans, and non-binary youth aged 14 to 18 from all over New York. And especially what I'm thankful for in a virtual space is being able to expand and have more folks across New York access our program. In order to build new worlds. We believe that their ideas and creations are vital to our future, and we aim to provide them with the support and tools to get there. We use speculative fiction and interdisciplinary workshops to spark interest and break down bias around STEM subjects like science and tech. We teach coding through storytelling and biology or physics through art. The summer looked definitely a bit different from the way we usually do our program. We held our institute virtually, actually for the second time, counting last summer, as we met virtually on Zoom. We met for 5 weeks, 4 days a week, and for 3.5 hours over Zoom to build, dream, discuss, and create together. As you can see here, we did so many things this summer, including podcasting, video game design, we did urban planning, and had a workshop on food justice, herbalism, and foraging, where we actually, if you see these pictures here, it's from one of our in-person field trips, where we went to the park to learn more about foraging in the nature around us in New York City. We also did map making, as well as world building, branching narratives, writing and coding online adventure games, which you'll actually see a bit later on today. We had a career panel of illustrators, medical professionals, and lawyers. And we also had a guest talk from award-winning author N.K. Jemisin. And of course, we did a lot of community building. So now I'm really excited because you're actually going to see the fruits of those workshops. So I'm actually going to introduce and hand things over to our wonderful, magnificent lead teachers for this summer, Natina Bean Osborne and Maria Monica Andia.
Thank you, Bria. Appreciate you so very much. It has been such a joy working and learning alongside you and this summer. So just to introduce myself, my name is Natina. I use she and they pronouns. I am, as Bria said, one of the lead teachers for the Summer Institute high school age cohort. And it has been such a joy, such a gift, such a pleasure. Definitely told everyone this is my most favorite way to learn and make money, like my favorite job in my whole life. So we've done so much with everyone. I would also like to introduce MM, who is my co-pilot in many ways alongside Bria.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Thank you so much for attending our showcase. My name is Maria Monica. I use the pronouns they, she, or my name MM. And it has been such an honor and privilege to teach alongside Natina and Bria and get to know these truly incredible young people. And I cannot wait for you to get a little taste of what we've gotten this summer. So enjoy the show.
Absolutely. So before we get into the show, there we go. Before we get into this show, we just want to invite you all to share and show enthusiasm because these folks have really stepped in with some courage, some creativity, and generosity. But before we do, I'm a theater kid. I love a house agreement, a community guideline, just to see how we're going to engage in the space, even virtually. So these are just a few ways in which we can show our support to our performers. Reactions. So if you're on a laptop or any other device, if you look to the bottom right corner of your screen, you should see an icon that says reaction. You'll click on that icon and it'll give you the option to choose a heart, and M is modeling one. I don't know if I'm screen sharing, so it's a bit difficult for me to do so, but MM is, and Megan and Bria are all modeling how to show a reaction, a nonverbal image reaction, something we discussed, iconography in our language learning workshop, actually. Another way in which we could show support to our performers is through visible hand claps. This is such an emotional and ego boosting thing for me to see, witness, and or hear. Snaps are also really good. Awesome, great ways to show responses and show support to our performers.
Yes, and finally, a classic one that we always love and always need a lot of, give our participants and performers love by affirming them in the chat box. We've been doing a lot of this already, but it goes a long way. Because as you know, our participants who are putting their work forth today, whether it's finished, in progress, or shifting in any capacity, is very brave to participate and to perform. And so we are very excited to hear what they are going to show us this evening.
Yes. And before we get into our first performers, just a reminder that some of these projects are works in progress. So you will, get the opportunity to engage with them later on in some capacity, which we will reveal later. But sit back, sit tight, or sit up, sit tight, and get ready for our first performer, the amazing Leah.
Hi there, my name is Leah Letterman. I use the pronoun she, her, and I have prepared 2 poems for you guys today. Basically, the way I started writing poems, I am dyslexic, dysgraphic, and dyscalculic, but with dyslexia and dysgraphia, it makes it hard for me to read and write, or for grammar and spelling for that matter. And with performance poetry, you don't have to mind all that, and it's a creative way for me to express my emotions to others. And it was a way that I could communicate. So I prepared 2 poems about feminism in America. Fill your pockets up with daydreams and listen to the world as it sings, because it's glowing baby blue and no one can see the spectrum of black to white. So hold on to those daydreams tight and try to take flight, because glass ceilings don't shatter without a shove, because this dove does not mean love. It is a message of peace, and we want a piece of the action, because we are not a reaction. We are a mission for wanting something more, because we shouldn't be ignored. Scott said we can't be ignored anymore. Here's my second one. If Little Red Riding Hood was a little older, a little bolder, she wouldn't have ran crying to her grandmother's shoulder. She would have left him in smolders, because that night his bark was worse than his bite. So why couldn't she fight for her right to survive? Thank you.
Come on, bars.
Woo!
Come on. Wow. A performer. Am I right?
Truly, truly, Leah, you are getting so much love in this chat. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
It's amazing. I'm loving the rhyme scheme. Okay. Next up, we have some work, original artwork and storytelling from Eden.
Okay, hi everyone. I'll be sharing 2 pieces of art with you today, one with a comic I've made of some original characters and another with some insight on each of them. So when I was writing the character description / dialogue, I wrote a little too small, so I'll be including the speech. I hate to ask this like right in the middle of the presentation, but I shared the doc with everyone of my artist statement, and I don't know, maybe we could just switch to it when I show the dialogue. Yeah, I'll do that later. Sorry. Okay. So this concept that I came up with is called Space Stories, which revolves around a young woman around the age of 20 that's caught in the middle of an intergalactic warfare. 2 alien soldiers, Hakari and Vivian, are sent down to Earth on a mission to eradicate any alien species found present. Before you ask why they're targeting their own, is to destroy evidence of them existing, and they also pose a threat to Earthlings, meaning humans, ways of life. Eventually, Serelda also makes her appearance too, adding even more spice to Sugar's life. Fun fact, I made all of these characters up by themselves, never planning to make them a part of the same story, but I'm happy with the results. Okay, and here I will be explaining the second picture to the right, where I show each of the characters and kind of give like an introductory on each of their personalities and some other little doodles in the corner. Okay, so Sugar is the main character of the series and is just as sweet as her name suggests. She's kind, caring, and always thoughtful of other people's needs. And she may look harmless, but this girl can pack a punch. Her interests are reading, playing with her pet cat, comics, plushies, and video games. She also likes candy. Akari, the life of the party, sorry that was corny, and most obnoxious alien you'll ever meet, Akari. They love to have fun and start trouble, even if it's at the expense of others. They do have a kind heart, though. They just get caught up in the rush of it all. They can also shoot lightning out of their fingertips and control light. Pretty cool. Vivian. Vivian is the group's tactician, mathematician, engineer, mechanic, scientist, whatever you want her to be, she can do it for you. That's the gift of being super smart. They have a wide range of knowledge and are known to keep a cool, calm head in the face of danger. She's known for supporting her team and leading them to victory, but has trouble connecting with others. Serelda, the toughest of the tough, the baddest of the bunch. Serelda lets her strong, fiery attitude speak for itself. She loves to go by her own rules and considers herself kind of a lone wolf, although that's not how the others would put it. Like Vivian and Hikari, she also has superpowers, summoning fire and using it to her will. Now, for my comic movie night, which you can see to the left side, the setting begins in Sugar's room. What happens in this comic is that Sugar, the main heroine of the story, is called to the extraterrestrials' home when Hikari feigns an SOS. Knowing this is usually a sign that they are in trouble, the team having used this message before in times of danger, Sugar flees to their house, but not before getting all geared up and ready to fight. Bursting through the door, Sugar screams out, asking what's wrong, only to see the group of girls sitting on the couch together and Hikari giving her a playful smirk. Okay, now, for this dialogue, I'm just going to like interpret it in my own words, and this is where it gets a little embarrassing because I'm gonna have to like voice act this out. Okay. So Sugar, bursting through the door, yells, "I'm here! What's the..." And her voice drowns out as she sees them all sitting on the couch together, relaxing. Sugar continues cutting, well, like kind of like going off what she was trying to say before he got cut off. Emergency. Hikari laughs and Sorelda greets her with a yo. Vivian says, "Oh, hello, Sugar." And this was them on the couch. Sorelda says, "You seriously told her that?" Sugar, utter shock crosses her features. Unbelievable. Hikari, laughing between giggles, says, "I'm sorry. I didn't think she'd take it so seriously." And Vivian just gives a disappointed glare. So, in order to clear up some confusion, Sugar comes to their house thinking there's danger, only realizing it was a prank Hikari had played on her to get her over there quicker. They were planning a movie night and wanted Sugar as a surprise guest. And that is it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Eden. That was beautiful.
Woo!
I just wanted to check, did you still want folks to see your artistic statement, or would you like to share it with them later?
Oh, well, I could share the link in the chat if that's okay with everyone. I already see a few people on it, so let me just redo that. Okay, there it is.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
We love a generous performer. I'm personally have goals of growing up to be Sugar one day.
I want to be
So thank you.
Hikari.
I mean, I think we should. I think we should. World
That brings
building.
me so much joy. You have no idea.
Well,
Okay.
whenever the auditions are ready, I'm auditioning
Okay.
for the role of Hikari.
Let us know.
Cool.
So-
Okay, I'll let you know.
Next up, we have Ava. Oh, Ava, please share this map with the good people, please.
So,
Speaking of awesome colors.
hi, my name is Ava. I use she, her pronouns, and I did this during our map making activity. It's a fantasy map that I made up myself. It's called the Dragon or the Great Dragon. As you can see, it's sort of vaguely dragon shaped. Quickly in making the map, I tried to take inspiration from like real landforms in real life. So especially with the tail end over on my left, I'm not sure what it is for everybody. I tried to take ideas from like shapes that were in like South America and like different shapes to make like this mega continent realistic. So you may be asking what's happening in this fantasy world, and I'll tell you. So first of all, it's filled with these little islands, and the inhabitants are mostly these two fantasy races that I made up, the Fae and the Fish Folk. Can I get my video ping quickly, please? I have some images of them to share. Thank you. Oh, there we go. So this would be an example of like a Fish Folk queen or something like that. It's just a doodle that I did to go along with the whole concept of these different peoples on these islands. And also on different temples throughout the map, there exists, one second, I thought I had the page, different celestials. This is an example of that. And different sort of creatures like this inhabiting the area. And there's two main like religious groups that exist, the Hectides and Deities, warring over different parts of the land. Sorry, I'm just showing a couple more images of Here is an example of one of the Fae folk, and here are one of the fish folk. And I'm actually going to show you here now so that I can give you a bit of a closer insight. This is the map itself. These would be the islands where the fish folk and Fae folk would live, and this entire forest is inhabited by Fae folk. These are the temples that I was speaking about. So basically, the way that the land is colored is basically based on climate. And throughout it, there's a long river going through, because throughout our urban planning stuff, we were learning about like, how do people get water? How do people get food? So this is mostly farmland, and there's a massive river providing fresh water. Don't ask how it works. A wizard made it. I did not want to have to look up how rivers actually work. Over here, there's also another island, which is a great potent source of magic. So basically, as you can see, all these different islands have little outposts, and the two different warring factions are trying to get a hold of the Fae and the Fishfolk land, except for this island, which provides a source of light or a natural lighthouse to the ports over here at Dragon's Tooth, to basically, so that way they'd be allowed to be left alone. And basically, I sort of designed the world where sorry, I'm getting a little flustered. I basically designed it as a realistic fantasy world throughout this island, just trying to figure out how I could get like realistic landforms and how people will get food into my fantasy world. Okay, thank you.
I
Wow.
mean, the detail.
Okay. The detail. I just put in the chat that I'm waiting for the HBO TV deal, because the specificity, the detail, the characterization, the colors.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. I'm so inspired. So inspired.
The
by
cartography, yes.
the cartography.
I'm ready to watch it. Ava, when the deal comes, you got your viewers already. Fan club is here.
We know that Leah will direct it alongside you. Next up, we have Liam to share some beautiful art with us.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, my name is Liam. I use he, him pronouns, and the artwork that I'm showing is actually the background to a Twine game I was making during the Octavia project. The background is meant to be a forest in the nighttime with a lot of stars, and it's really important to my game because my game takes place in a magical forest late at night. So I've always really liked star work, so I thought, why not use the setting as the setting for my game? As for my game, the main character's name is Lucas. The player gets to play as him. He wakes up in the forest. He has no memory of where he is or how he got there. The only thing he remembers is his name. Give me 1 second, sorry. Okay, yeah, so the only thing he remembers is his name. And so the player gets to look around this magical forest, and they slowly start to uncover different information about Lucas's memory depending on which choices they choose. Since Twine Game is basically a game that is run by choosing your own adventure, players get to unlock different parts about Lucas's life depending on which choices they choose. Say they want to follow the magical orbs, they might remember something about his childhood. And if they want to go to the river, they might remember something about his friends or an event that happened in his life that involved the river. And it's all about what might interest the player the most. There's not really any winning or losing. It's more of like, how much can you uncover about the game? And I tried to make it so that people can play multiple times and learn different things. So say the first time they chose to go to the river and they chose to follow the dog. The next time they can choose to follow the orbs and climb a tree. So it's kind of like by the end, it always leads to Lucas getting to a village and eventually remembering, oh, wait, this is where I live. So it's kind of not really about like the ending of the game, but rather the journey and how fun it is and like exploring the area. And I got a lot of inspiration from games like Detroit Become Human, where like although the ending was really important, it's also about like how much you explored that place and how much you could find out in the time. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Liam. That is so cool. And we cannot wait to play your game. It's so creative and just such a visionary.
Such a visionary. And you did an amazing job at explaining to folks who may have never seen or played or created a twine, what twine was. And also, that serves as a perfect segue into our last, but certainly not the least, presenter tonight.
Up next, we have the amazing Will Marie. Will Marie.
Hello, my name is Will Mary, and what I will be sharing is the mood board for my twine and my twine game. So the premise of my twine is that you, the player, wake up in a haunted house. You have this journey to escape, but it comes at a price. The journey is difficult and dangerous, and you will have traps along the way. Depending on your choices, you will discover missing persons reports, and you will have to put together the backstory of this house as you try to escape before becoming its prey.
Wow, we're already hooked. So Marie also has their twine. So the first thing, we are going to play it all together. So the first thing, we have to decide on a name. May we have some suggestions in the chat? All right. The participants have spoken. It's Bart again. We were playing with this name earlier and having a lot of fun. So we are back to being Bart. All right, let's start and continue. And for the folks who haven't seen Twine before, this is the format of the way that one moves through it in making choices to choosing where you're going in the storyline. So you wake up alone, looking around the room you don't recognize. You hear a voice call out to you. Bart, Bart, where are you? You don't recognize the voice and you have a weird feeling of danger in your gut. Something is telling you not to answer, but the voice seems so desperate. Should we call out to the voice or should we stay quiet? Better safe than sorry. Let's see. Okay, looks like we want to call out. You hear the desperation, you can't help but call out to the voice. I'm here, you call out. There was a silence and a creepy laughter filled your ears. The next thing you know, there's a sharp pain in your chest and darkness that followed. Oh no! RIP to Bart. But the exciting thing is that we can try again and make different choices. Should we try another one to see where other choices lead us? And Will Marie, is there anything that else you would like to say about your twine? Oh yes, let us be named Octavia. How can we not? Of course. Octavia Bartholomew, is that our last name? Let's continue. So we tried calling out to the voice. Let's see what happens if when Octavia hears this voice, instead they stay quiet. You decide to listen to your gut, staying quiet as you looked around anxiously. The voice soon disappeared and you finally let out a breath you didn't know you were holding. You shakingly stand up and properly take in the room. It seemed empty with only a small twin bed and a bedside table in the room. You see the windows are boarded up and you have no clue how you got there. What the hell, you think, and walk over to the door. You try to open it, but it only rattled. It's locked. Damn it, you mumbled and noticed that you needed a key to open the door. You looked around and there weren't many places to hide a key. Should we check under the bed or should we check in the bedside table? All right, I'm seeing about equal numbers for both bedside and under the bed. Let me see, one. It looks like there are more for checking under the bed. And as Natina is clicking that, Will Marie said in the chat that their twine is a work in progress. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I cannot wait to see the finished product to play this game some more. So we check under this bed. You decide to check under the bed and you walk over and get on your knees, checking underneath the bed. You noticed a small box and reach under the bed to go get it. Once you got the box, you sat back on your legs and opened it. Inside was a small golden key and a piece of paper. You put the key in your pocket and take out the note and read it. You found the key. Good luck facing what is on the other side of the door. Signed, P. You look at the note confused and rolled your eyes. It has to be some sort of prank, right? You thought as you stood up and went back to the door. You pull out the small key and insert it into the lock. Upon turning it, there was a small click and the door opened. You looked around and see the hall expanded to the left and right. You can't see more than a few feet in either direction because of how dark it was. You decide to go. Should we go to the left or should we go to the right? And right, Ray, who is P? I have to know.
Well, I think what we should go is to the Octavia Project website where we could play this game very, very soon once Will Mary finishes designing their twine, because the suspense is killing me personally. Killing me. The left to the right, where do we go? What's happening? What is happening in this hall? But I think that everyone should certainly look out for the opportunity to play this game moving forward. And that brings us to introducing our latest and greatest creation, our Octavia Project zine. This will be our second annual digital zine created and curated by our high school summer institute. So these are a collection of the positive obsessions from the minds of the Octavia Project, with our gorgeous cover art created by our very own Afra Mahmood, who is not, I don't know if Afra is here with us this evening, but has created this beautiful, beautiful cover for our zine.
Truly stunning cover. And that is all for our participant share out. One final just standing ovation for our performers who shared their creations and their brilliance with us tonight. Without further ado, we are passing it to Bria to take us away with our next part of the program.
Ooh, goodness, I am so excited by just watching all of those projects. Let's give another round of applause for all of those amazing presentations, for the launch of our official 2021 zine. Thank you to all of the participants for all of the hard work that you've put into making the zine fantastic. For the next part, I'm actually going to welcome our teaching fellow, Amali Nada, to join me. If we could both spotlight our videos. Amali Nada is the teaching fellow for the OP Institute. She, like Cheyenne and Alea for the camp, was the teaching fellow assisting our lead teachers, Natina and MM, along with facilitation. So thank you so much for all that you've done, Amali Nada. And Amali Nada and I are going to celebrate our amazing participants. And first, before that, we want to officially recognize our 2021 OP Fellows. Our fellows are returning participants who take on leadership roles in our summer program. They have led community building sessions in person and virtually after workshop. They have facilitated movement breaks, mentored their cohorts, and also helped to shape the culture and create a community in and outside of the workshops. So I am going to share my screen, and Amali Nada and I are going to celebrate our fellows. So please join me in celebrating Afra.
Autumn,
Eden,
and Jenny,
and Kaylee. Thank you so much to our fellows for all that y'all have been doing for us this summer. Once again, y'all have been such a huge part in creating community and making everyone feel comfortable. So we're so grateful to you all and having you all with us this summer. And now we would also like to recognize the official OP class of 2021 for the rest of our cohort. I would like to recognize, and feel free to send reactions, affirmations in the chat, and we will share an official applause for everyone at the end. So I would like to recognize Ava,
Camila,
Echo,
Hashi,
Kaylise,
and Chris,
Kyra,
and Leah,
Liam,
and Sylvia.
Nicole,
Notice. Oh, sorry.
Noctis. Thank
Yeah.
you. No worries. Noctis. We also want to recognize Nusrat,
And Opal,
and Will Marie. So thank you all for being I can't even I can't even say how much I've enjoyed sharing community with you all. So please join us in sharing a round of applause to everyone, all of our participants, all of our fellows. Celebrate all the folks who have made this summer so great and so enjoyable. And now I'm going to pass things back to Megan to close out for the night.
Thank you so much, Bria and Amali Nada. And I wonder, Amali Nada, if you would let me put you on the spot for just a second, if you're open to it. But I'm wondering if there's anything you want to share about the experience of going from being a participant and then being a fellow, and then now kind of stepping back, coming back to the Octavia project, but in a different role as a teacher, and you went through a teacher training program. So I'm wondering if there's anything you want to share about that experience.
I have to say it was like the best experience of my life. I felt like going to like the Octavia as a participant was just like preparing me, like if it knows I was gonna be where I am today. And like it was really awesome. And I feel like it made a part of my life. And like whenever like I go somewhere and I say I was a teaching participant, I was a teaching fellow at a program, and they're like, "Oh my God, you can teach!" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can." So I really love it. I really, really love having this opportunity to like share art with all of you guys and seeing art, and it's like so awesome. It always made me feel like I'm in a good position, and all I've done till today is never like ending, and I'm gonna continue. And I have like the hope, and I feel it when I'm here, and I don't feel like I'm doing things because I just don't have anything to do. And so sharing all my art with you guys is awesome. It makes me want to keep writing. And so yeah, I guess thank you all for sharing your art too. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Amali Nada, for sharing so much of you and your work. And we were so happy to have you come back. And thank you so much for allowing me to put you on the spot like that. Congrats again to all of our amazing participants, our 2021 Octavia Project Summer Institute participants. Thank you again to all of our amazing performers this evening. I want to express my immense gratitude for everyone who helped make both of these summer programs possible, specifically our dedicated, talented, and brilliant teachers, Natina, Maria Monica, Arushi, Cheyenne, Alea, and Amali Nada. I also want to thank all of our guest teachers for sharing their time and their wisdom with us. And of course, our magnificent program manager, Bria, for putting so much passion, creativity, joy, and perseverance into making this summer's program such an amazing experience for all of our students, despite the many challenges of the past, really 2 years. I also want to thank each and every one of our supporters. You all make this program, both of these programs, possible. Without you, we really could not do any of this, especially our most dedicated supporters, our BFFs, and thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. I want to thank our truly stellar advisory board, Andrea, Aviva, Daphne, Emmy, Jess, Catherine, Laura, Ray, Rocio, Sunaina, Stephanie, and Tyler for all of their hard work and enduring support throughout the past year. And most importantly, I want to thank all of our participants and all of the family and friends in their lives who hold them up. Without you all of this would not mean anything. So thank you. If you would like to support our work, you can visit us at octaviaproject.org and make a donation. You can also spread the word about our work to your network. You can send us resources or people who will help us grow. And you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook to keep up with all of our many updates. And that brings us all to the end. So thank you so much for coming. Thank you for making this such a great event. Have a good night and stay safe.